Welcome to another episode of Hero TV. I'm your host, Alex Hampton, and in today's episode of Hero TV, we're going to be reviewing the three-part Elseworlds crossover. So, I want to talk about how this amazing crossover has just done so many things, set up so many things, and I just want to talk about how we got to see our main characters that we know viewed in a different light. Now, I will say it was amazing to see Oliver play a lighter role as Barry Allen. If you don't know, Oliver is Barry Allen and Barry Allen is Oliver Queen. And it's really cool to see their dynamics change. We see Barry act a little bit darker when he's the Green Arrow, and we see Oliver Queen very light and having fun with the powers that he has as Barry Allen. And the separate teams, like Team Flash is treating Oliver like he's Barry, and Team Arrow is treating Barry like he's Oliver. And it was really cool to see the different dynamics of how they used each other's powers. We saw how they wore each other's suits, how they conducted themselves in terms of fighting crime. It was really, really cool. I want to say the dynamics of Oliver convincing Team Arrow that, hey, I'm Oliver, I'm not Barry. Something has happened with reality. And the same with Barry. He goes to Iris, and Iris doesn't believe Barry at first, but he goes to his wife and says, hey, I'm not Oliver, I'm Barry. Iris, I need you to believe me. And she figures out that, hey, he's telling the truth. Something's obviously off about reality. And the cool thing about this particular show, this particular crossover, is that reality is at stake. In the beginning of the crossover, we see the OG, John Wesley Shipp, his original Flash is Barry Allen, is being, his Earth is basically destroyed by this godlike character. I believe his name is Nobu. I could be wrong. But we see him use his book to change reality. He gives this book to a psychopath doctor in Gotham, and he basically shapes reality in his image. And the really cool thing I loved about this particular Elseworlds crossover is that it's setting up so many things in the next crossover, which I'll get into later on in this video. But it was more of a setup crossover than an actual conclusion. So let's talk about all the different things that we've seen in this crossover. From Oliver being Barry to Barry being Oliver. We did get to see how they get to act as their superhero counterparts, which was awesome, but the really cool thing that we saw is this is how they had to deal with life as these characters. Oliver was in a bad place with Felicity, and Barry had to basically go through that. And Barry was in an amazing place with Iris, and Oliver just had to figure out how to adjust to that. It was so really cool to see. And also, the inclusion of Batwoman was spectacular. It was very subtle, and it was amazing to see. I think the actress, I forget her name, she did an amazing job. Ruby Rose, that's the actress. She did an amazing job portraying the role as Batwoman. We get to see, she's actually Bruce Wayne's cousin. We get an acknowledgement that Batman does exist in this particular universe. And then the really cool, funny thing about this particular crossover, Oliver's like, no, I'm the first vigilante. I'm the first. He is not. Batman is a myth. He is not real. And we see the Bat signal. We see the Gotham City and how it's so overrun and over-policed. It is amazing to see what the CW has done with these particular characters. Also, I did enjoy the inclusion of Superman, Lois Lane, and Supergirl. Now, Superman is more of a side character in this show. He does wind up saving the day, quote unquote, at the end of this particular crossover, but I liked how they utilize him, because we all know that Superman is an overpowered character and he could overshadow everybody if the writers wanted him to. But I loved how they directed him and wrote him in this particular crossover. Another thing that I enjoyed was the fighting scenes between each character, whether it was Flash, Arrow, and Supergirl, and even Batwoman. We get to see Batwoman become this lethal force to be reckoned with. And she fights somewhat similar like Batman. And it was really cool to see. And we get to see her own little base, which is basically her dark wall with her batsuit just standing there. And it was really cool to see that she's taken over Wayne Enterprises as well, since Bruce Wayne and Batman are gone, quote unquote. I think that what they're trying to do is set up a Batwoman TV show. But overall, I think that the crossover did a really good job of showing us these different ancillary characters that are part of this universe. Now let me give you my cons. Although this particular crossover was a setup to something bigger, which is Crisis on Infinite Earth, which comes out fall 2019, it was more of a setup. I enjoyed Crisis on Earth X more than I did this particular crossover, because again, this was more of a setup. It wasn't really, like, to me, it was a crossover event, don't get me wrong, but it wasn't as strong as the previous crossover event that we had last year. So that was my overall con for that. Another con for that, there's a line in there where Batwoman and Supergirl say, I guess we're the world's finest, or something of that nature. I get what the CW's trying to do with the inclusions of girl power and girl superheroes, but they're not the world's finest. Let's leave the world's finest to Batman and Superman. Keep in mind, Batwoman was recently created like 5-6 years ago. Even though Supergirl is a household name, she was never considered the world's finest. So let's leave it at that, okay? And another thing, another con that I had, granted, I understand that the main villain was trying to shape reality, but it seemed like they gave him a little bit too much power in this particular episode of the Elseworlds crossover. So don't get me wrong, I enjoyed the crossover. I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed the different things that they tried to do, and I enjoyed the inclusion of all the different characters that they put in this particular crossover. Overall, if I had to give this a score, I would give it an 8 out of 10. I can't wait to see what they're going to do in Crisis on Earth X. Crisis on Infinite Earth. I think that next year is going to be phenomenal. That's going to break so many barriers on TV. I can't wait to watch it. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you want to be a supporter of mine, please like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And also, go ahead and be a Patreon at my Patreon page at patreon.com/brandnewproductions. And this video was sponsored by Squad Block Comics, which is a comic book shop that focuses on comic book characters of color. My name is Alex. Thank you guys for watching this video, and you guys have a blessed day. Thank you for watching this video. If you're not a subscriber to Brand New Productions, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube page by clicking this button right here. And also, if you want to see all the different content that I'm putting out, go ahead and click on this video up here or this video down here, where you get to see all the different content I'll be coming out with, whether it's short films, movie reviews, or any other thing that I'm doing on this channel. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. You guys have a great day.